Welcome back. You're watching Startup Central with me, Nayantara Rai, working from home. The Nasdaq whale, as it's been called during the pandemic, SoftBank came out with its earnings. Blockbuster earnings and some blockbuster news with a massive change and reorganization of the corporate structure. My colleague Chandra Shrikant gets you the details.
Good news for investors in SoftBank because it's back in the black. Its Vision Fund is back in the positive territory. So if you look at their quarterly profit, it reported about $6 billion in quarterly profit. And if you look at its net profit number for 6 months till September, that was at 1.88 trillion yen or $18 billion compared to 421.6 trillion for the same period last year. And these profits mainly came on the back of gains in investments. So if you look at SoftBank's strategy in the last few months, they've gone very aggressive in terms of buying up tech stocks in the US. So the broader upswing in tech stocks really helped SoftBank this quarter. But apart from the earnings, what really caught my eye is the significant restructuring that they have done at the board level. 4 directors on SoftBank's board have stepped down, and 4 of them were widely seen as successors to Masa Son. They will take on new roles as corporate officers. SoftBank says that this is to improve corporate governance at the board level, get in more external directors, and also separate management from operations. So if you look at the 4 who have stepped down, it includes the like of Marcelo Claw, the Chief Operating Officer, Rajiv Mishra, a very key man who's the head of the Vision Fund, Katsunori Sago, the Chief Strategy Officer, and Yasser Al Rumayyan, who represented Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund. So Masa Son, of course, continues to remain on the board and continues to keep a close eye. But 4 top executives of SoftBank who were on the board have stepped down, paving way for independent directors. They will continue in operating roles in the company.
Right. Thanks, Chandra, for joining us with that. Well, as we get ready to wrap up this edition of Startup Central, I'll leave you with an interview done by my colleague Abha Pakaya with the head of the Twitter APAC, Maya. Thanks for watching.
It gives me great pleasure to welcome my guest today, Maya Hari. She's part of the senior leadership team at Twitter globally, handling the APAC region. And Maya, it's really an honor to have this time to speak with you in detail about all the various developments at Twitter, how the tech giant is evolving, and the kind of growth that we continue to see, particularly, as recently, we've come out of a lot of earnings commentary, political commentary, so there's lots to talk about today. But, to start off with, let's see the journey that we've actually had here in the APAC region. From your standpoint, where do you feel we're now at, as Twitter, whether it be here in India, whether it be in the overall region, in terms of growth, in terms of the kind of evolution we've seen over the last few years?
Hey, Abha, thank you for having me on the show. It's great to be here and very excited to share some of our exciting growth journey that we've seen globally and certainly here in APAC. We're very much, the most relevant platform at the moment, whether it is the outcome of a pandemic year or it is, elections every year on Twitter. It's definitely been a busy year and lots happening both in the world and in Twitter specifically as well. We announced earnings last week. Our international markets are certainly leading the growth for Twitter, both on the audience side and the revenue side, and APAC has been a big part of that story. It's been exciting to see a rebound and an excitement coming back from advertisers in the global economy, but also certainly in the region and in India. And we saw that sort of play out with strong revenue growth and monetizable DAU growth year on year coming into the region. So definitely strong and exciting prospects in the region at the moment.
So give us a sense, Maya, in terms of what the year was like with the impact of the pandemic. I mean, was there a major hit that you saw, and was that across the board? Are you now recovering and seeing the prospects, seeing those green shoots coming back, particularly in these regions? Just describe the kind of wave for us, what it was like.
Yeah, I mean, as you can imagine, APAC was one of the first regions to be affected by the pandemic early in the year. So it feels like we've seen it all now that we're closer to the tail end of the year. I would say that there's been both opportunity and adaptation that we have had to face. Let me start with sort of outlining us as an organization. Twitter, when we think about our people and our workforce, we've sort of taken the pandemic as a way to accelerate some of the thinking that we had around decentralization of the workforce. Even before the pandemic, we were starting to think about what that future state of the workforce looks like, where we have people with equal ability to choose working from home or working from different places. And COVID ended up being an amazing accelerant to some of that thinking and proving out that we can actually do this well. We were one of the first companies to move our people to work from home. We certainly won't be the first coming out of it. We really put our people and our safety first there. But it's been also interesting to see that model really play out and accelerate for us on the decentralization. If I switch over to thinking about the year of COVID with as far as Twitter as a service goes, we knew going into the pandemic that we would have to play a very important role because consumers would be coming and thronging to us to look for credible information. They would want to make connections with their community as well as the world at large. And there was a big role for us to play there. We moved quickly to do things that made our platform locally relevant and authentic in ways such, we took the COVID-19 search prompt and localized it in a way such that people could get the most authentic information up front. In India, for instance, we partnered with the Ministry of Family Welfare to make sure and health to make sure that the right information for the public was available. And throughout all this, we also had to make sure that misleading information during a pandemic didn't take flight on the platform. So